A lot of people are looking for the connection between the Jeffrey Epstein story, the saga, the details that are now coming out, and what that means about, quote unquote, who runs our world. Now, there are a lot of very powerful people whose names have been mentioned in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. People who are hanging out, hobnobbing with Jeffrey Epstein. People who are asking dating advice, like Lauren Summers, former president of Harvard. Or people who are apparently soliciting visits to Epstein parties, or whom Epstein was soliciting to go to his parties, including people like Elon Musk. Obviously, Jeffrey Epstein was friendly with Bill Clinton. There was a time early on in his life, earlier, when he was friendly with Donald Trump. All of that is true. Now, the leap that some people are making is that this means that Epstein was manipulating all of these powerful people through blackmail with regard to sex. That is not in evidence. If that turns out to be in evidence, then we will happily report on it. That is not what so far has come out. And the reason I'm making this distinction is because it is, in fact, a deeply important thing that some of the most powerful people in our society act in morally depraved ways, godless, virtue-free ways, hanging out with some of the worst people in our society, people they know to be trafficking in women who are very, very young, if not in minors. When it comes to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, what was criminally indicted was the trafficking of underage girls for Epstein's own use. There have yet to be legally verifiable allegations that girls who are underage were trafficked to people who are not Jeffrey Epstein, or by Ghislaine Maxwell to people not Jeffrey Epstein.
I think that Mr. Shapiro is using one of the most powerful leftist tactics in the universe, which is to pretend that you don't understand what the conversation is about in order to make conversation impossible. People are not saying that there is evidence of the individuals who run the world to be in cahoots with Epstein. Nobody's saying that. What people are saying is that there is suspicion surrounding some of the American elites. Okay, like let's use big boy words here, because the people that run the world, like there were no Chinese officials there, as far as I understand. There were no individuals from the United Arab Emirates, right? Like this was a localized American scandal, which blew up specifically because of how the situation was handled. Like, given the nature of the crime and given who Epstein was, the fact that he died in an American prison is beyond the pale. And I remember at the time, no one believed it. People from New York Times didn't believe it. People from New York Post didn't believe it. No one believed that he killed himself. And if he did kill himself, this would be one of the biggest failures in US history. Like, how is it possible that someone like him can do something like that in a prison where you have surveillance, where you have guards, where you have cameras, where like how is it possible? Who's getting arrested over that? Like who's being dragged to account over that? So this is why like people are upset, right? It's over the suspicion. Now, let's put it in a different way. Let's say that a couple of Jewish people were being harmed by a guy, and this guy was like really anti-Semitic. And he had these big parties, which he would invite some of the American elites to go there. People from Congress, billionaires, wealthy individuals, actors. They would all go to his parties. And then they would go to this book reading club where they read anti-Semitismus. And they discuss anti-Semitismus. They talk about the USS Liberty. They talk about Israel. They're talking about the one-state solution. And then they go and they have lists of Jewish people so that they can make sure they're not getting employed. Like they're marking these individuals on lists. Like make sure this guy doesn't get a job. If that was the case, do you think Mr. Shapiro would have been as charitable as he is in this situation? Do you think he would be like, yeah, you know, this politician, yeah, he went to those parties, but like, I don't think he did it. Nah. I'm pretty sure that just because he was mentioned. Like, no, right? Like, he would be suspicious of every single person that has gone there. And again, like, the reason for the suspicion is the failure of what happened when Epstein wasn't taken to trial. And even to this day, I still don't understand. How is it possible that this man trafficked people to absolutely nobody? I mean, who else besides him is getting arrested? Because there were parties with many people, right? And there were victims at those parties. So, like, what? Like, he was the only one that was touching those victims? Like, who else was there? That's the question that everyone is asking. And that's why people are upset that up until this day, nothing came out. Now, don't get me wrong, like, Ben Shapiro does have a point. Is like, just because, like, a name appears in an email doesn't necessarily mean that that person was on the island. And in extreme cases, even if that person was on the island, it doesn't mean that he partaken to the party. But I gotta say, you know, I'm already disgusted about this networking that's happening. And I understand, like, it will happen all the time. But it's like Ben Shapiro talks, the people who run the world. Yeah, you know, if you have a democracy, why is it that the elites meet with each other a lot more than they meet with their constituents? Like, help me make sense of this, right? Like, the elites, like, constantly talk with each other and do business with each other, and then they set agenda to the point where you see, like, Build Back Better in UK, and you see Build Back Better in Canada, and you see Build Back Better in the United States, even though, like, there's different parties and different political things, like, they all come together to the same conclusions. And then, you know, like, oh, why are people saying that there are individuals running the world? It's like, well, because they're networking with each other, right? And they go to these parties, they go to these private islands, and every now and then, yeah, like, something like this can happen, and it's perfectly reasonable why people should have suspicion. Like, what? Are the elites irreplaceable? Like, are they aristocrats? Is no one else capable to do the job they do? Like, does the Republican Party not have other names? Or the Democrats, do they not have other names besides Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton? Right? So, like, if there is such an event, I'm not saying that they should be excluded from public life or they should be arrested or get anything. But, like, if there is such a suspicion over a person, yeah, I mean, I think, like, you should be able to get another guy elected. I think if you go to an island where there is a guy that was arrested for accusation of human trafficking, and you go to that island repeatedly, yeah, I think that you shouldn't be in prison without evidence. That's fair, right? I don't think, like, people should distance themselves from you either. That's also fair. But I think, like, there is enough suspicion that people could select someone else from your political party. You know, like, another human being out of the 350 million Americans that pretty much share the same ideas and the same ideology like you, and they're also charismatic, like, replace them with someone else. Given the nature of the scandal. And you do that once, you do that twice, and then maybe people will be more careful. Like, seriously, why is it wrong to hold public servants to a higher standard than everyone else? Because they get higher privileges than everyone else. And so, what's the problem? They should have, like, incredibly clean reputations. Because they're a public servant. And since nobody wants to do anything about it, then yes, like, people are going to be outraged. People are going to continue demanding information. And by the way, Trump did this to himself. I genuinely don't know why. Like, the entire Epstein thing, like, it went away. No one was talking about it, if you guys remember. And then during the election, Trump brought it up. Like, for no reason. And he brings it up and then refuses to show it. Like, how is this not making people even more suspicious at this point? Right? Like, does it make any sense? Oh, vote for me, and if I get elected, I will show you the Epstein files. He gets elected. The Epstein files are on her desk. Right now. The Epstein files don't matter. You shut the fuck up. Don't mention them. It's like, what the fuck is this? And now he brings, like, another group of Epstein files. Which are a nothing burger. And it's like, okay, if they're a nothing burger, why weren't they released up until now? And how many nothing burgers are there left? Like, is it going to be year 2045 and we get, like, another group of Epstein files? I'm just asking. It's kind of weird. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.